Alright, so starting off with mission 2. This gives you an introduction to your partner as well as a couple of other mechanics with your partner. We'll change the color here of Goku. I believe that's all the cards we have. And as you can see, you have a limit to 3 cards for a couple of slots. 4 for your fighting, 3 for your key, and then mystery. I'm not really too sure what it does because again, I don't speak Japanese. So if anybody does, you can always translate it down below if you feel free to. And then same thing with your support character. You can always equip them with special abilities and things like that. But yeah, we'll go with that Goku. And again, with these set of videos, the plan is to show off the demo as well as try and at least demonstrate some of the things you can do in the game. Again, I don't speak Japanese, I can't read Japanese, but again, gamer instinct tends to kick in, and you can get pretty much the gist of what the screen's saying or telling you what to do, for the most part. Now, as before, L1 locks onto enemies, but if you click down the right stick, you'll actually go towards your ally. And there's a special abilities you can do when you lock onto your ally. If you press circle, you can actually give your ally energy. And when you give them energy, their bottom blue bar fills up again, so they can't be exhausted, because that can happen while you're fighting. You'll get exhausted if you use too much energy. If your partner faints, you have a brief amount of time to go over to them, lock on and press the triangle button, and that actually revives them. There's special actions with the left, or not the left, with the D-pad. Admittedly, I don't know what these do, so it's all trial and error based on how you play the game. I'm assuming up is more aggressive mode, where he actually becomes more aggressive. Though honestly, I haven't seemed to get it to work within this demo. Another mechanic you get while holding the L1 button, which I missed in the last video, is the ability to dash and dodge. You simply just hold down the left or the L1 button, and then you press the left analog stick in any direction you want to dodge. So you get a 4-way dodge at any point. This is going to be useful because you can actually do this in the immense fighting to get out of combat, to switch sides with the opponent. Because the square and X buttons, while it is a dash of some sorts, it's only a dash to get you higher or lower to the ground, so it's not really useful for dodging attacks. The chase mechanic, it's activated after you press the L1 and triangle button, and you get the icon to press triangle. If your partner is locked onto that character as well, they can follow up with the chase, leaving you to at least do 4 different chases against that enemy. Now, I'm not sure what these other attacks do, admittedly, with the D-pad. As you can see, that's what happens when you press the R2 attack. It's a small shockwave that goes around. It does do damage, and it allows you to escape the enemy and stuff like that if need be. Let's see. Down on the D-pad, I believe is grouping. So I believe whatever enemy you attack, the AI will attack with you. And finally, left on the D-pad. Again, I'm not too quickly sure what it does. So again, I apologize. I know it's not perfect. Basically doing the best I can with what I've got. I believe it's support. And what I mean by support is if you're running low on ki, you press left on the D-pad and the computer will start to give you enough energy so you can get back on your feet. That's just my assumption. Now, I mentioned before that these missions really don't follow the manga or the anime itself, and here's a good example why. We all know that Goku fought Raditz, right? But it wasn't Krillin, it was Piccolo. So that just leads me to the assumption that the missions in this game are not going to be based on the anime itself, or at least it's going to be loosely based. They're just going to be mission modes for you to pick characters, play through the story with your friends and stuff like that. Which, you know, honestly, I'm not even mad. Because at this point, if you're a Dragon Ball Z fan, you know the story of the Dragon Ball Z. So there's really no point in retelling the same story 1,000 times. Which was the case with a lot of the other games. They just kept on to retelling the same story. I mean, granted, it was still cool. But if you was a fan of Dragon Ball Z, which you probably are if you're picking up the games, then you already know the story. You just kind of don't want to sit there and go through the whole story over and over again. You know what I mean? But that's neither here or there. This is just to give you an example of how some of the bigger bosses are. Think of it if you've played Battle of Z, or not Battle of Z, but if you happen to play the arcade version of this game, which is Zenkai Battle Royale. It's very similar to that regard. He's telling me something about the Kamehameha. Alright, now when your SP gauge is full at the bottom and you have that icon, press in circle and square together. Lets you do a super move, which for Goku, it's a powered up version of the Kamehameha. Different characters will have different attacks. And the way to get your SP gauge full is to do attacks, stay within the battle, not draining as much, and then it'll be full, and then after a certain while, you'll see a green icon at the bottom. And then that initiates that you're able to do these special move, which does a good amount of damage. And I don't know if it's blockable or not, but it does do a good amount of damage. But that was mission 2. Basically, that mission was to give you an introduction to the special move, as well as how boss characters would work, and how and just other mechanics with your partner and stuff like that. So we'll move on to mission 3.